All right, g'day and welcome to episode number, I don't know, I have no idea, 138 maybe, something like that. Let's call it episode 138, Average Man Podcast. Just trying to mess around with the GoPro here because she's swiveling around. I'm going to do something a little bit different this time round. So I am in the car. I'm down at Parrys Beach, just outside of Denmark. And we're going to do a couple of installments of some little shorter podcasts. I'll film them straight on the GoPro and then upload the audio to the podcast host and try it that way. It's, you know, I'm on holiday, I don't have all my setup here, and so yeah, man, we'll try this out and see how it goes. How the bloody hell are ya? Merry effing Christmas. It's the 27th of December. So, you know, Boxing Day was yesterday, Christmas Day was 2 days ago, and I've been on holidays for we drove out of Port Helen on the 17th of December, so a good 10 days now out of the old Pilbara, and sort of really starting to settle into a holiday mode, holiday vibe. It takes me a little while. It took me a little while this year anyway. It was a pretty high-paced sort of entry into the holiday period. So, and then, you know, I did a lot of driving, which was, you know, the trip down was kind of stressful, to be honest with you. Obviously, we've got the caravan in tow, all loaded up with the whole family and everything in for the first time, the first big trip, the first big trip with the caravan in tow. We left Port Hedland on the 17th, which was a Saturday of December, and like after about 500 k's of towing down the road, because I'm pretty much at full capacity weight wise, in like 40-degree heat, it actually started to the car was actually struggling a fair bit. Didn't want to sit on 100 k's anymore. It was just dropping down to like 90, 80 k's an hour and struggling to go any faster than that. And that sort of continued for the most of that day. I'd stop over and get some fuel and it'd be okay for 100 k's or so and start doing it again. So that was kind of stressful, man. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if it was a fuel starvation issue, if it was like dirty fuel again, like what happened when we came down from Broome on the last trip we did with the car, or if the new pre-fuel filter that I had put in was not letting enough fuel through and starving the injectors of the fuel they needed, but we didn't know. So it was a little bit stressful, a bit touch and go there. And then on the other, like on the afternoon, once it started to cool down a bit, she started to run nicely again, sitting at 100 easily. And then the day after, which was on the southern side of Carnarvon, it just ran like a dream and it hasn't skipped a beat since. So it's definitely something to do with the heat at full capacity, towing for a long period of time. And I've had a bit of a Google around, and it seems like, you know, an issue that can happen in those kind of conditions. And perhaps it was the way I was driving in normal auto, which is probably not what I should be doing. I should be driving manually and keeping it in 5th gear, at the very least driving in sports mode, so it's revving out a bit more in the gears rather than changing too early, and then the gearbox is struggling to pull all that weight in the higher gears. So we'll see how it goes on the way back up when we get to the hot climate again on the northern side of Carnarvon, with me keeping it in 5th and shifting manually and shit like that, and see if we can't sort of counteract that. It was a bit stressful, man, but we made it down, and you know, it wasn't a fuel issue, it wasn't dirty fuel or anything like that. So that's just something I just need to manage and figure out a little bit better how to handle that. So that was stressful, but I'll be honest with you, the first day trying to get the fuck out of Hedland, and the car didn't seem to want to go, man. So all this time, all this money spent organising, setting it up, planning, and then, you know, 5 hours into the trip the car's not performing. So that was a stressful moment for me, but it's all good. It came through. We got down to Perth, and as predicted, Perth was busy. Perth was friggin' hectic as always, man. We just can't seem to avoid that. Like, me and Ems, the wife, we don't spend a lot of money during the year. We do our big ticket item purchases that we plan out, and we didn't go on bugger all holidays this year. We don't just buy shit randomly. We kind of pretty strict with our saving budget. outside the things I said. We do buy our big ticket items that we need and we research and we plan for, but really we don't spend a whole lot of money. So when we come down to Perth, we've generally got a bit of a list of stuff we're going to buy while we're down, and that racks up so quickly, man, and you get so sick of spending money. I get sick of spending money, even though I know I was going to spend it. You can never really sort of guess at how much that's going to rack up to, along with, you know, your food and your alcohol and your just general outings and fuel, man. Like, fuel was next level coming down, hectic. Watching the kilometre per, the litres per 100 kilometre ratio on the dash, man. Or maybe I shouldn't have that up because I was just watching that the whole time going, holy fuck. We are chewing through the juice in this thing, man. So that's towing your caravan, that's life, I suppose, man. But you know, it would be nice if diesel wasn't so friggin' expensive. It'd be nice if a lot of things were different, hey? That's not the way the world works. What else, man? So we did do a bit of shopping, kicking around, getting the Christmas presents sorted. You know, I did a bit of driving around. I had some shit to get done on the van and the car, so I drove like an hour away. Picked up the toolbox for the ute, which is mignon. Big 1700 long by 450 wide by 600 high toolbox, black toolbox with a you know, gas strut lids on the top and 2 on the side, and that can carry a whole heap of my battery tools on the bottom deck. I'm going to put a false floor in on top of that so we can then stack shit on top of the tools and use the 2 side doors to open to get to the tools underneath the false floor. The blokes out there be creaming on the idea, especially I'll show you later. I'll do a bit of a run through when the missus is happy with how clean the van is, because you know it's getting trashed on the daily because we're living in it. I'll do a little bit of a run through with the camera and show you around the setup as it is in action now. So that all worked out well, man. Got to Perth, got all the hectic shit out the way. We stayed up at my sister's house in Yanchep, which was a good idea. It was really, as hectic as Perth can be, that was the most peaceful place for us to be, a little bit more out of the suburbs. They're a real chilled family, my sister and her family. So we kind of soaked up their vibe a little bit, and they got a really nice, it's an old shack on a big block in Yanchep, and trees everywhere, and tree house for the kids, and trampoline, and you know, I got a niece and nephew that are there as well. So it all worked out really well, man, and that was a good move, staying there, and that's where we will be returning to when we get back from Parrys Beach as well, after New Year's. We're down here for like 10 nights or 8 or 9 nights or something. So we got here on the 23rd, going back on the 1st, so you do the math, whatever that is. So it's yeah, a decent clip down here, and then a few more days back in Perth on the other side before the big drive back up home to Perth. And the kiddos are actually staying in Perth with the grandparents for another week and a half, which is something we've never done before, so that'll be interesting, and Ems and I will have a bit of time on the other side of the holiday together as we get back into the swing of work and stuff. It'll just be the 2 of us there, which is cool. See how we go. You know, so that's, yeah, something, like I said, something we haven't done before, so we'll see how we go. So we got down here to Parrys on the 23rd, as I said, yeah, 23rd, and the idea is, look, you can't book a spot here, as we found out the first year we came here, 2019, we rolled up and stayed in the overflow for a night and jagged a spot, and in we went. So since then, 2020, we came here as well. I volunteered to do the some of the volunteer work, which was cleaning the toilets, and that gets you a free spot, and they save you a spot, so you can rock up and know you've got a spot saved, one of the good spots generally too. So did that again this year, but it all kind of went pear-shaped when we got here. So I organised this like 3 months ago. Yeah, no worries, you guys got a spot, roll up, you can clean the dunnies, all good. Got here, did all the paperwork, got our spot sorted, next to another family that we know down here, some friends of ours who we're going to camp next to, and went to drive in through the gate, and it's got a 2.7 metre high limit thing swing on it, and it was going to hit the aircon on the van. I was like, I had the missus out watching the van. I didn't know exactly how high it was, and she was saying, yeah, no, all good. She couldn't see the cassette on top of the actual van, and the lady come running over. Her name's Sue, one of the caretakers here, and she's got something, I don't know, throat cancer or something, larynx removed, I don't know. She whispers and she talks like this. Sue comes running over, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're gonna hit the side, you're too high. You're too bloody high. You didn't tell me you were over 2.7 high. That's how she talks. you didn't tell me you're over 2.7 high. I was like, one, I haven't measured it. I didn't know I was over 2.7, but also I didn't realise there was a 2.7 limit here. She's like, how did you not know that? You've been here before. I said, well, I was here 2 years ago in a camp trailer, and height wasn't an issue, so I didn't look at that sign. I didn't know. She goes, there's a sign on the road as well. And it's like, okay, these are all fair points, but I didn't know, man. I didn't know that it was a 2.7 metre limit. Didn't know I was 3 metres and wasn't going to make it. Like, I don't know what you want from me. I didn't know. If I knew, I would have said it 3 months ago before I come down, so we could have got ahead of it. But she was pissed off, and then she sort of said, oh, I'll get one of the other volunteers. I'll get Simon, the other volunteer. He can move out of his spot, and you can go in his spot. He can go inside the gate. Because Simon was in the big spot outside the gate that doesn't have the height limit thing, and he had a little caravan, and you know, there is some spots outside the gate that volunteers can park in. So I was like, okay, cool, great, no worries. So I felt bad, you know. I went and spoke to Simon, said, sorry mate, I really feel bad, you know, what a hassle, we've rolled up and you got to relocate at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But everyone made out like it wasn't a big deal. So, okay, I really apologise about that, man. I didn't know. This is where we are now. So he moves over, and then it all starts coming out that, you know, oh, we probably should have put us in the overflow, which is, you know, where you can park overnight, and made Simon move the next day. And, you know, Simon was a bit upset. He had to move at the last minute. I get it. Simon's actually there for a month, you know. We're only there for a bit over a week. He's there for like 2 months, so he's like their special VIP volunteer. You know, all of this shit I didn't know. But this is all going in the background. So anyway, he moved into the spot we were going to be parked in next to our other friends, and whatever, we get on with our lives. Wake up the next morning, go for a run on the beach at like 6 AM, come back, grab the keys. I'm just about to go clean the toilets. It's like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm taking some rubbish to the bin, and I see Sue, old raspy voice Sue, and I walk up and I go, hey Sue, how are you? She turns around and she goes, oh no, you've upset me. Oh, you've really upset me. You're gonna get kicked out of here. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell? What's going on, Sue? What have I done? She goes, you're up all night. You're up all night. You get Simon awake. He's a recovering alcoholic. He doesn't drink. You're up all night partying till midnight. You've upset him and he's got to leave now. I'm upset with you. And I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I wasn't up partying all night. I said, I went to bed at like 8:30. And she goes, well, your family was up partying at that other site and they kept Simon awake. I said, hang on. And I've said, look, I was in bed at 8:30 last night. I don't think my wife was up partying all night. I'm not sure what's happened. I really apologise if someone's kept Simon awake and upset him. That's not our plan here. We're just come here to have a family holiday. We're not here to party on and make a ruckus. So let me go speak to my wife. So I went and spoke to Emma, and she said, no, we just had a couple of drinks at the fire, weren't playing any music or anything. And said, and I was home by 11:30. She goes, the camp next door, there's a group of Mormons. They were up sort of jumping around, hooting and hollering and really, really getting into it. And they were really quite noisy, and they were up, you know, after I went to bed, they were still awake, still kicking on. So I said, okay. I went and relayed that to Sue, and she was very doubtful. Oh, they're churchies, it wouldn't have been them. I said, well, it wasn't my wife, mate. So, you know, I think the wires have been crossed here, and it certainly wasn't me. So anyway, that all kind of started to, you know, they were going to kick us out, and that never eventuated. But all these things started popping up. Simon broke his awning when he was moving in a hurry to accommodate us, and that was my fault. He didn't like the noises, he doesn't drink, so someone in the park was making noise and pissed him off, and that was my fault. I got blamed. You know, we should have been in the overflow, not put in straight into his spot, even though it was her that did it, and that was my fault. We shouldn't have been allowed to volunteer for only 1 week. It's normally a minimum 1 month. Who let you volunteer for 1 week? I said, yeah, Jenny. Man, far out. I am not having much luck with this GoPro. It's I was trying to do the podcast yesterday on here. I got about 15 minutes into it, and I was having dramas with the SD card. Just kept saying SD card error. And man, it was really pissing me off because I haven't used this damn camera for ages. And then I get the damn thing out and start trying to use it, and I've got nothing but problems. And now all of a sudden I'm pressing record, it's just not recording. I've got to fiddle around with all the settings. So I'm having some technology issues. We will get through it and get on with it. So yesterday I was talking about, you know, where we were rocking up to Parrys, pissing everyone off because the caravan was oversized, and then, you know, everything was my fault. Everything that happened it was my fault as far as, you know, the caretaker here was concerned. So that was pissing me off. But we got through it, everyone's happy now. I've been doing a good job cleaning the dunnies, that's all blown over now, and we're just getting on with the damn holiday. We've been doing a few bits and pieces since we've been down here. We had a nice beach day today. It's warming up a little bit. You know, Christmas Day was raining here, man, so we definitely didn't, you know, do the beach on Chrissy Day. I think we went down there for a little bit in the afternoon, but you know, Christmas Day was raining, so it was actually quite nice because it forced us to just chill inside for a few hours in the morning, you know, with as a family, and look at our Christmas presents and play with some of them, and just keep it really low key and low paced, which was quite nice and quite different for us. So, which is what we came down here for anyway. We came away to have a nice, quiet, relaxed Christmas without the hustle and bustle and the hectic atmosphere, and that was, we were definitely forced to do that on Chrissy Day due to the rain and then the overcast weather for the rest of the day. So that was pretty cool. We've been out to the animal farm. We did the animal farm. We sort of do that every year. This is our third year we've been down here. We've done it every time. But man, I'll tell you what, the old animals were looking a bit manky, to be honest with you. That needs to stop swiveling. The old animal farm was looking a bit manky, man. I'm feeling a bit for the old animals out there. I'm not sure what the hygiene and the maintenance is like out there, but it wasn't real it wasn't real shit hot, to be honest with you. It was a bit bloody manky. So yeah, we kind of felt like we were going to get like some fungal shit on us if we you know, touched the animals and touched ourselves. We didn't tell that to the kids. We didn't want to freak them out, but they were all itchy. They all looked like they needed a good bath. They all had matted hair all over them. It was a bit how you going, to be honest. Wasn't really happening out at the old animal farm, but we did that. Kids always love it. See the llamas and everything. Got out of there, washed our hands thoroughly, and then got the hell out of there. We also went to what did we do for Christmas Day itself? We went to the on the day before Christmas anyway. We went and picked up a platter from the cheese factory here, the Ducketts Mill Cheese Factory, and the idea was that there. No, it won't. The idea was we'd get a platter sorted out from the Ducketts Mill, and then not have to cook and clean and everything on Christmas, and that actually worked bloody treat. We got a $100 cheese platter from them, and a bottle of wine and a bottle of port. We cracked that open on Chrissy Day, and it was really good because we enjoyed Ducketts Mill. We've been there a couple of times before in the past, and the platter was just good, mate. $100 worth. We had a bunch of different cheeses on there, some different meats, fruits, some capers, you know, bits and pieces as you do on a platter. But it worked really well for us, man. For the four of us, we didn't have to. We actually only ate half the platter. It was separated into two boxes, so we ate one half, and then we ate the other half the day after. So absolutely nailed it on the Christmas lunch. There was no clean up or anything. It just came in cardboard boxes. We used a couple of plates to separate food onto as we went along, and that worked absolutely beautiful, mate. Got a couple of, as I said, a good wine and a good port from them as well, and had a bit of port around the fire that evening, and just had a really good chilled Christmas day. So that worked out bloody perfectly for us. What else did we do? We went to the dam yesterday, which is a distillery, and it was alright, man. It was a really nice spot. The food was pretty good. They were pretty busy. Service was so-so, but the alcohol was kind of shit. The beer wasn't very good. They don't really, you know, they're not known for their beer. I guess they got other people's beers on tap there. They're known for their seltzers, and we did the ginger beer, the seltzer. Tried their beer, and I think the missus had a wine, and the alcohol was all pretty shit, to be honest. I would not ever drink or buy one of those seltzers from them again. It tasted like flat cordial, all of them. But the beer was average, but the food was pretty good, and it's a really nice spot sitting outside there, so it was still worth going, mate, checking it out. The setup, the old caravan setup. So obviously, anyone that follows along knows this is the first big trip for the caravan since we got her. I obviously went down, drove down to Perth from Port Hedland to pick it up, and then drove back to Port Hedland with it on in tow, 2 months ago. But we hadn't been on a trip with it, so this is the first trip, all loaded up, everything in there, living off grid where we are at Parrys Beach down in outside of Denmark. It's a full just bush campground, so there's ablution blocks, but there's no potable water, there's no mains water, there's no electricity, anything like that. So we really are testing the system out, and it's been good, man. The power side of things, which I obviously spent a lot of money on and really needed that to be kind of bulletproof, has been just that. It's been bulletproof. It's been really good. I think I told you we had rain on Christmas Day, overcast the whole day. It was overcast the day after as well. And the power got down to about 60-something%. When we're using the inverter to use it to boil, cook stuff up in the air fryer, and using the kettle and toaster and charging things. Sometimes you charge, there's certain appliances we have to charge through the power point, so you use the inverter. I ran a Christmas tree, charged shades, e-scooter up, things like that, and we got down to about 60% at its lowest, and then that's now back up to 100% with a couple of days of sun, or really 1 day of sun. So that power's working absolutely mint, mate. Can't fault it. We can run the microwave and I think it tripped out when I ran the microwave and the air fryer at the same time or something. Didn't trip out, it didn't love it. So that's sort of the limitation of it, but that's fine, mate. That's pretty easy to work around. But we actually have plenty of power, so I'm stoked about that. We've been here for 6 days or something now, and we're back up to 100% on the power, so we're all good in that department. And the water's a bit why am I yawning again? The water's a bit, how you going? Water's a bit so-so. We're out of water. I went and got an extra 40 litres yesterday. It's in 10 litre bottles, and put that in. We've used that again. And this is not showering, so this is basically washing our hands after we go to the toilet, using the toilet and the kitchen sink. And we're kind of chewing through the water. So I definitely think we need a bigger water tank, or another water tank. Which is all right, man. We're here testing the system out. It's a good place to give it a run like this and see where the shortcomings are, and water's definitely one of them. So, again, if we actually wanted to shower in it or use the washing machine, we'd be up shit creek pretty quick. So I need to have a look at upgrading the water tanks on it. But power has just been mint. Pretty bloody happy with that, mate. Yeah. And I think I did say yesterday that I'll give you a flick around the van with the camera at some stage when the missus is happy that she's cleaned it up sufficiently and the kids haven't spread their life out throughout the inside of it again, which happens pretty frequently at the moment. But overall, it's been bloody excellent. We've got a good solid base to work off. We've actually got a lot of the creature comforts and luxury amenities alongside it as well, so pretty bloody happy with the whole setup, man. It's been overall it's been a success, really. So yeah, I think I mentioned to you that I'm doing the volunteering to guarantee us a spot, and that works out well too. Again, we wouldn't have fit in the main park, so we wouldn't have been allowed to come in if we weren't volunteering anyway. And the fact that we didn't fit in the main park, we're out the front, we are in the best spot in the whole park. It's just a big spot. It's quite private, right near the front of the park, which is near the water. There's some grass in there, some tree cover, but enough sun that I'm actually getting good sun on the solar panels as well. Really can't complain. I don't know what's going on with the awning. So I'm pretty happy with the setup. Pretty happy with the spot we had the caravan, the camp. Bush camp spot too. What do you call it? Camp, caravan. It's not a caravan park. It's a campsite. Far out. Really struggled for that word there. So yeah, pretty happy with that, mate. the toilets haven't been too bad. I'm getting up doing them pretty much first thing in the morning, getting up, going for a run, coming back, doing the toilets, and then doing breakfast with the family. And then, you know, they're done. I've been getting earlier and earlier, so I did them at like 7 o'clock this morning. I'll probably do the same tomorrow, try and beat people in for their showers, because the worst thing is waiting for the women to finish when they're in the showers. I obviously can't just walk in there when the women are still showering, and they definitely take a lot longer than the men, not necessarily in the shower, but on the bench, putting themselves up afterwards. They sort of tend to hang around and have a big old chat and a powwow, and it kind of drags on for quite some time. Whereas the blokes kind of in and out, and obviously I can just start cleaning the blokes' toilets, and as they leave, I just don't let anyone else in. So I eventually have it to myself, but it's a bit harder with the females, so that can be annoying, standing around waiting. Hence the reason I'm getting in there nice and early before they get up and start showering. So that's been fine, mate. The one thing though I will say, this is a pet hate of mine. I've mentioned this before as well. There was some fella the other day, I'm cleaning the toilets, wiping down the bench in there, and some fella has shaved his filthy face all over the bench top and just left it there. Hasn't even attempted to wipe it up at all. And this, I've seen this in the gym before as well. This pisses me off so much. It's just like, you're a fucking animal, man. How filthy are you? You just shave your face, your filthy face, all over the bench top, and just completely just leave it. Some other prick will clean that up. Like, who the fuck does that, mate? Makes me feel like just going and, like, I was angry enough when I saw that to fucking, I wanted to go find the fella and punch him in the throat. Like, just roam the caravan park or the campsite looking for the dude with the cleanest shaven face, and just walk up and punch him in the throat. You know, and just imagine the whole scene. I walk up to the dude, cleanest shaven face in the whole park, walk up, punch him in the throat, no words said, and his wife's fucking standing nearby, and she starts coming over, freaking out. Oh no, what did you do that for? What are you doing? So he knows why I did it, don't ya? You know why I did it, you filthy clean-faced fuck. Huh? Fucking attempt to wash your hair down the fucking sink next time, you filthy clean-shaven prick. Fucking walk around, monkey face, shaving it all on the bench and leave it for someone else to clean up. You fucking deserve the punch in the throat, you prick. Obviously, I didn't do that. I just fantasised about it. But, you know, and it may seem like I'm just a little bit, jealous because I can't grow a beard. For those of you that know me, I can't even grow a goatee. For that matter, I can't really even grow a mustache that actually looks like it belongs on an adult's face rather than the face of a Mexican schoolboy. But it's not that. It's not jealousy. It's just the fact, if I could grow a beard or a goatee and I went to shave it in a public space, you'd bet your bloody damn bottom dollar that I would clean the bloody table up. I'll at least make it. I know hair moves around the place. It's hard to get it all sometimes if you don't have the right equipment, but you can at least make an attempt, right? Because I'm not an animal. So I'd at least make an attempt to clean my fucking face pubes off the desk before I left it for someone else to come and do behind me. So it's not jealousy, it's just some common courtesy from one man to another. Clean your filthy face hair off the common space bench, you fucking dirty prick. But aside from that, mate, it's all been pretty good. No real major dramas in the toilet or anything. There's one kid that looks like he's from fucking Children of the Corn that comes in nearly every time when I just finish cleaning, and he rides his bike up there. He's this fat little ranger kid, and he rides his bike up there, and he looks at me like he's fucking lost look on his face, and he trots in with his fucking dirty hoofs, pisses and misses the fucking bowl and everything, and trots back out, his muddy little hobbit feet print all fucking through the bathroom. I've got to give it another once over after his bin, but apart from that, pretty good, man, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So, you know, loving it so far. I'll kick back in another couple of days, give you another update, and as I said, I'll do a tour of the Tour de Van at some stage as well when the missus gives me the green light on that one. Righto, I hope the sound quality is alright on this. I am driving. I do have the old GoPro filming me while I'm cruising along, and I'm going to mesh this together with what I did yesterday that fudged up on me, and we'll see how it all pans out in the wash. Righto, Average Man Podcast episode, fuck knows. Don't have a song title or anything either on this one. I'll just call it Parrys. Take it easy. I'll be in touch again shortly. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Over and out.